This war would have never happened. We would have had a deal negotiated for you without having to go through.
And the president who's trying to save your country. Please.
The implications are extraordinary because the U.S. gives almost half of the total aid that has been given to Ukraine, slightly less than what Europe, including the European Union institutions, have given to the country. A lot of the aid that Europe has given, as with the U.S., has been financial and humanitarian. If we look at military spending alone, the U.S. has given twice the amount that the Europeans have, in addition to critical intelligence assistance as well. So the impact would be enormous on Ukraine. I don't see any scenario in which Zelensky is going to be able to stand on his current position without making some concessions to the Americans. Yeah, I think the meeting gave cover to the Trump administration to suspend aid. I think it's inconceivable that there were not talks within the administration regarding this possibility between top security officials and defense officials. Something like this doesn't just occur out of the blue. So I don't know what is going on in Trump's mind, but I don't think any of us can know for sure whether the meeting was sabotaged on purpose or not, but I certainly think that something like this couldn't just happen in an improvised manner. I think it's absolutely a win for Putin. This is something that Putin could only have dreamed of, even just a week or a month ago. We've seen events hurl forward at a shocking speed, and Putin has so far gotten everything he could have wanted. He outlined last year his war aims and the conditions under which he would start negotiations for peace, and Trump has given him almost everything he wanted right away. So I think this is a major win for Putin. In the short run, I believe this will bring European leaders together and will bring the leaders of Western Europe together with those of Central and Eastern Europe in solidarity and in support of Ukraine. I think in the long run, we have to consider the internal dynamics within European countries and the positions of populist parties on the far right and the far left, who are already voicing skepticism, if not outright opposition, to additional aid to Ukraine, and think about the possibility of growing support for these parties, particularly given the financial burden that increasing defense expenditures will cause. This is something that is often not talked about. Well, it's a question of peace on whose terms. If it's peace on Putin's terms, we're a lot closer to that outcome. If it's peace on the terms of the Ukrainians or the Europeans, we're a lot farther from that outcome. I think one question is whether Donald Trump is out to destroy the European Union. This is something that has been suggested within the European press and apparently is a subject of discussion behind closed doors in Europe. And Trump has described the European Union as having been invented in order to undermine the United States. He used a lot more vulgar language than that. So we have to consider what Trump's long-term objectives are. We know that J.D. Vance has already suggested a real withdrawal of support for Ukraine. Elon Musk has just announced that he was in favor of the U.S. withdrawing from NATO. But there's this question of what's going to happen to the European Union and the support that the Trump administration, or at least figures around the administration, are given to these far-right populist parties.